Hey everyone! We recently reviewed The Nail, a fun story where Superman was never raised by the Kent family, and was thus absent from the early superhero history of this world. Today we're looking at the sequel to this Elseworlds story called Another Nail, so be sure to check out our videos on the first Nail before going any further. To stay up to date on this content and avoid such things, you can always subscribe to our channel, and even set YouTube up to notify you when we have new content out. During the events leading to the rise of Superman on this changed world, the precarious truce reached between the alien worlds of Apokalips and New Genesis was shattered. War broke out between these two powerful planets, threatening to spiral out of control and destroy all known life in the universe. The Green Lanterns unified, protecting the innocent victims affected by the conflict. Yet as the war raged on, they began to question the wisdom of their superiors, the Guardians of the Universe, and their decision to remain neutral in the war. It was clear to all involved that Darkseid, Lord of Apokalips, was instigator of this war, and cause of all the fighting. Darkseid interrogates Mr. Miracle, as he was caught trespassing on Apokalips just when a portal to Earth collapsed, causing widespread damage to Darkseid's forces and provoking the entire war. Darkseid insists this was the work of New Genesis, using Earth and the JLA as pawns, even as Mr. Miracle tells him it was all an accident. Darkseid's War Council advises him to abandon Apokalips entirely, as the damage here has caused the planet to fall into its sun. The Dark Lord violently dismisses this suggestion, stating he would sooner destroy the whole universe than admit defeat and leave his home. Darkseid is then shocked to discover that Mr. Miracle is dead, in spite of the man's expertise in keeping torture victims alive. One lackey suggests the hero willed himself to die rather than face more torture, and nearby Big Barda, also in custody, weeps at the death of her husband. Light years away, a Green Lantern spots a number of Darkseid's parademons hauling a mysterious part of a large machine through a portal. The Lantern transmits this information to the Guardians of the Universe, who determine Darkseid is planning something truly dangerous, and must be stopped. Their policy of neutrality no longer deemed valid in the face of such a clear demonstration of threat. With that, the Green Lanterns join New Genesis in the war, attacking Apokalips at the side of the new gods. Meanwhile, Darkseid reveals his Doomsday machine to his followers, the Omega Doom, a powerful device that will wipe out all matter within millions of light years around it. However, Darkseid has equipped himself with a unique armor that will not only protect him from the machine, but gain power from its blast. By her husband's body, Barda suddenly hears the voice of her now dead love. Revealing he managed to transfer his mind into Barda's advanced armor, made of New God's technology, Mr. Miracle, or what's left of him, is able to set the woman free. As his followers begin to panic at their own impending doom, Darkseid slaughters them all rather than give them a chance to escape. Suddenly, he is attacked by a squad of high-ranking New Genesis leaders and a number of Green Lanterns. With few left to defend him, Darkseid is taken aback by this unified force, who manage to briefly pin him down with their combined powers. The rest of the planet, rapidly collapsing from the gravitational pull of its decaying orbit, is evacuated by the other Green Lanterns. One Lantern is ambushed and killed by a denizen of Apokalips during this evacuation. That Lantern's ring, as it is programmed to do so, leaves its host body in search of a new person with exceptional willpower to join as a new member of the Green Lanterns. On the hellish world of Apokalips, the ring would normally never be able to find a suitable host, and is generally instructed in such cases to return back to the Green Lantern homeworld of Oa. However, in this dire but unique situation, one being stood out as a beacon of willpower and righteousness in an otherwise bleak and bitter world. Big Barda of Apokalips, you have the ability to overcome great fear. Welcome to the Green Lantern Corps. The ring merges with Barda's apocalyptian armor, that employs New Gods technology and circuitry from incredibly advanced devices known as mother boxes. This results in the ring gaining a new sentient mind unlike any other in the Corps. Working with her, it takes command of both the New Gods and the Green Lanterns and teleports them all away, so they can handle the threat of Darkseid alone. Though the villain scoffs at this and attacks, Barda says she has learned a lot from the JLA and proves a formidable fighter against this powerful foe. Using her ring, armor, and Mr. Miracle's digitized mind, Barda creates a construct of her husband made up entirely of Green Lantern energy, and this creation manages to rig the Omega Doom to only destroy Darkseid while sparing everyone else. As the fires of the Doomsday device rage around them, Darkseid calls them all fools, claiming only he could stop what is coming, but it is too late for all of them, and the Omega Doom decimates him, causing all of Apokalips to explode in the process. With that, the Great War of the New Gods is firmly brought to an end. In the days that follow this on Earth, in their new satellite headquarters, Hal Jordan goes over the nature of these events with the JLA. Since the Earth was kept separate from the rest of the galaxy for almost an entire year, the events around Darkseid are largely news to the JLA and the rest of the planet. However, as Jordan has been catching up with intergalactic politics, he has come to believe that in the fallout of the war, something is attacking the Green Lantern Corps. Hal explains to the team that the main battery on Oa is mysteriously losing power. Since it is the source of all energy used by the Green Lanterns, this is an extremely concerning trend. This is especially true as the Guardians of the Universe are exceptionally powerful and intelligent, and thus it would take something even stronger and more advanced to steal their energy without being able to be detected, and no one knowing how or why this being was doing so. Hal informs the JLA that the entire Green Lantern Corps has been tasked with investigating this mystery, each following a different lead across the galaxy. Hal was assigned to Earth. In the wake of the war with Apokalips, it was revealed that Darkseid had been operating on Earth for years without anybody knowing. Apparently, Darkseid was planning to deploy a bomb onto Earth, which backfired when Jimmy Olsen created a force field around the planet, and instead, the bomb destroyed Apokalips. With Hal set on learning more of this, the team then set their minds on something that they have learned is very important: their public image. They direct Superman to go attend a scheduled public event. Kal-El is reluctant to do so, as being raised Amish, he is not used to being in the public eye, but the JLA know they need him as the most popular member of their team, and does encourage him to interact more with the human race. As Kal leaves, the Martian Manhunter comments that Superman is incredibly strong, and they still don't know what limits there are to this new hero's strength, if any. The Flash is also a bit resentful over how Kal is taking on more and more of the JLA's old responsibilities, leaving the rest of the team, in his eyes, with very little to do. Superman is well received as he is given a statue in thanks for his heroism. However, Kal has a very short and stilted speech before he awkwardly flies away, embarrassed at all the attention and barely stumbling out a meaningful thanks to the adoring crowd. Superman brings the statue back to the JLA, who have prepared a spot special for it in their new trophy room just for Kal. The team is happy and optimistic, far more so than they ever were a year ago, but Wonder Woman can't help but take a moment and reflect on those that are no longer with the team. In the Batcave, Bruce and Selina are training while Alfred watches news of the Superman ceremony. It is a tough time for Batman and Selina, the latter of whom is now calling herself Batwoman. While most of the world is happy about Superman, for the couple, it is a dark reminder of what happened to Batgirl and Robin. Selina is very worried about Bruce, who hasn't been sleeping well and is suffering from repeated nightmares featuring the Joker. Alfred mentions that Bruce declined to join the JLA for Hal's meeting even though Jordan did invite him. Bruce still doesn't want to taint the JLA with Batman's image, and has never forgiven himself for killing the Joker, even though most of the world has largely moved on. But for Bruce, he would never forgive a murderer like that, and thus will never forgive himself, though to date, Selina still thinks Bruce was justified in his actions. On the television, Oliver Queen shows up, and Alfred is reminded that Bruce could have gotten a lot worse in the face of such trauma. Meanwhile, Black Canary reunites with her husband, who is dying from sustained complications from the injury he suffered years ago, back when they were both part of the Justice League. Oliver insists on being left to die alone. Across the world, deep within an ancient pyramid, Dr. Fate has gathered the Outsiders for a mission. It was here that Rex Mason was first turned into Metamorpho, and Fate believes he can revive the man because of it. As he attempts to do so, Rex does appear before the others, but something goes wrong and draws on the portal's energy. Sensing an evil presence, Fate can only warn the others, as a swarm of demons appear around them. Superman and the Martian Manhunter are attacked by a pair of villains, who claim they are here to test the Kryptonian and see what he is capable of. Superman easily bests the villains, but they knock over a massive cliff wall, which threatens to destroy an entire village. John and Kal move the giant rock surface away from the village, but Superman suddenly starts to feel weak and collapses under a massive pile of rubble. In Metropolis, Hal Jordan seeks out the advice of Madame Xanadu, but the powerful Mystic Woman can tell him nothing of what is happening with the Green Lanterns. Traveling around the world to learn more, in Coast City, Hal detects evidence of some new gods' activity, while in Star City, Jordan learns that his ex-girlfriend, Carol Ferris, also known as the Star Sapphire, has apparently joined up with a team of superpowered women. In the JLA satellite, John Jones, the Martian Manhunter, looks over Kal-El. Superman feels okay now, but his friend is worried that there might be some sort of limit to Kryptonian physiology that the team doesn't know about yet. John is also concerned that Kal doesn't live among the human race anymore, and encourages him not to grow distant from the people he has sworn to protect. The Martian Manhunter believes Kal should be more than just Superman, and thus asks his friend to take a vacation and assume a human identity. To help Superman not worry about protecting human lives while Kal takes a break, John even shows him that they have recruited 3 new members to the team, Halo, the Astral Mage, and Firestorm, and promises to call Kal if they truly need his help. Out in space, within an apocalyptic outpost, Superman is observed by Darkseid's son, Kalibak. His underling Gray suspects that Kal may be a person of interest that Darkseid had once relentlessly pursued in life, and suggests that Kalibak try and enslave this powerful new superhero. With their forces severely diminished, Kalibak agrees they will need to find agents to work on their behalf. Elsewhere, Will Magnus and his metal men look over Amazo, even though the Doctor once again promised the JLA he was going to dismantle the deadly android. Magnus repeatedly refuses to actually destroy Amazo, as he doesn't understand how the android was ever created to begin with. Amazo was created by a man named Professor Ivo, but Ivo was never any kind of engineer. Instead, he was an archaeologist who suddenly and somehow managed to create the most powerful android ever made on Earth, so powerful it nearly took out the entire Justice League. Suddenly they are attacked by Star Sapphire, Power Girl, and Orchid. The women beat back the metal men and capture Amazo, teleporting away with the android. Magnus and his creations are left to worry about what these intruders are planning to do with this dangerous threat, though they take some comfort in the knowledge that Amazo's brain was completely destroyed after the Flash removed it during the android's last rampage. In Midway City, Hawkwoman is attacked by a hunger demon, and only rescued by a fellow superhero named Zatanna, who saves the woman with a quick spell. The young sorceress comments that many minor demonic incursions have occurred in the past few days, which concerns both women. At Oliver Queen's home, Wonder Woman stops by to visit, seeing Black Canary reading to her former teammate. She is confronted by the Phantom Stranger, who tells Diana that the woman doesn't have time for this, and must focus on the threat Darkseid's minions present to Earth. The Phantom Stranger tells her to look at the lone home in the shadow of a place called Seacoast Point. Flying through the Vega system, Big Barda, following a lead, finds Kalibak and attacks. Grace tries to use her powers to take control of the Green Lantern's mind, but thinking fast, Barda manages to grab both her and Kalibak and transports the two through a boom tube directly to the world of New Genesis. Back on Earth, in the depths of its oceans, Wonder Woman follows the Phantom Stranger's clue leading her to rescue Aquaman from another servant of Darkseid named Slig, who has been mutating ocean life. Slig quickly appears to destroy himself when attacked by Diana, and inside the being's headquarters, they find evidence something was being built here. The two realize they have walked into a trap when the machinery around them activates, and the entire facility bursts into explosive flames. For his vacation, Kal-El returns to Smallville to stay with the Kents, who invite over Lois Lane. The three help Superman assume a new human identity, so that he might take up the Martian Manhunter's advice. During this time, the Flash and Atom race around the world, discovering small differences in the flow of time at different altitudes. Such differences shouldn't be possible unless someone is changing how the physical laws of nature are working on Earth, a disturbing discovery for both scientifically oriented superheroes. While the two grapple over the level of technology that would be required to achieve something like this, they are suddenly attacked by the Crime Syndicate of America, evil versions of the Justice League from an alternate universe. In Gotham, Bruce and Selina take down Poison Ivy, only for Batman to be plagued by visions of the Joker. He encounters a number of objects rigged to harmlessly prank Batman, much like how the Joker would in life, and runs off from Batwoman in response. Green Lantern's investigation takes him to the home of the Doom Patrol. This superhero team was also recently attacked by Carol's gang, and at the sight of their teleportation, Hal is suddenly overwhelmed by a powerful form of energy. Working together, the Doom Patrol manages to save Green Lantern just as the energy explodes around them, some sort of backlash from the teleportation effect, though fortunately everybody survives the encounter uninjured. The Doom Patrol explained to Hal that Star Sapphire and her two allies appeared here not long ago, and kidnapped their leader, Dr. Niles Calder. When Hal states that he should be able to track down Carol, the Doom Patrol insists on coming with him, so that they might save their leader. Over in Smallville, Lois takes Kal to a movie, and Superman talks a little bit about the nature of his powers, and what it is like to be a Kryptonian. Learning of Kal's tremendous sensory abilities, she suggests that he focus on the two of them, and just the two of them, for tonight. On the world of New Genesis, Barda and the others learn from Grace that Darkseid feared a being that is thought to live on Earth. The new gods have been unable to determine who that person might be, but Highfather is more concerned over another disturbing development. Much like the Green Lanterns, the powers of the new gods are suddenly and mysteriously draining away. Somewhere in Gotham, Selina follows her partner as he runs off, inconsolable and intent on finding the Joker. Catwoman hears no laughter, but Bruce seems absorbed by the sound of it, when Deadman appears behind them and warns the couple that he can hear the laughter too. Though normally Deadman should be invisible to most living humans, there are changes happening around Earth, and thus Boston Brand is able to warn Bruce and Selina that the barrier between these dimensions is weakening so much that, although Deadman might enjoy an increased presence on Earth, many other beings are too. Aquaman and Zatanna try and stop a supercriminal from going through a portal the villain creates, only for said villain to be completely destroyed when the gateway becomes unstable, pulling the two superheroes through the now unstable gateway. Back in Earth's ancient history, Wonder Woman and Aquaman suddenly appear, transported by the trap laid out for them. Outnumbering the two heroes, the crime syndicate manages to subdue both Ray and Barry. With the JLA members now in custody, one of their team, Power Ring, claims that the JLA and their Earth are the ones invading Crime Syndicate's native universe. Cal reveals to Lois that he never knew the full extent of his strength until he battled Jimmy Olsen, and they talk of his insecurities surrounding the death of his adoptive Amish parents. The couple clearly have a lot of chemistry together and enjoy a quiet moment in the evening, unaware they are being watched by a sinister villain known as Eclipso. At Batman's insistence, Deadman goes to look for the Spectre so they can learn more about what is happening, only for Boston to find him and many other powerful beings under attack by legions of demonic forces. Batman and Batwoman, in conjunction with this, take a look at the ruins of Arkham Asylum. There, Selina is grabbed by some demons who suddenly surround the Dark Knight. The Joker appears among the horde, laughing, and eager for an encore performance with Bruce. Batman tries to attack, but the Joker, fresh from hell, reveals new demonic powers and strikes down his old foe. In prehistoric Earth, Wonder Woman and Aquaman are rescued by a family from the Legion of Superheroes, all hailing from Earth's far future in the 30th century. As the Legion return the two heroes to their original timeline, they seem aware that Earth suffers a major disruption event of some kind in the time of Wonder Woman and Aquaman, which is what caused these two superheroes to be accidentally displaced to begin with. In the present day, the Martian Manhunter and the JLA rookies are shocked to discover a massive vortex in time emerging around Earth, and through it, a number of aircraft from World War II appear, namely a Nazi Zeppelin battling a squad of Black Hawk fighter jets. Over in Smallville, the community is suddenly hit by a massive storm, while the villain Eclipso emerges from hiding, capturing the Kents and Lois Lane. Eclipso states to Superman that the hero cannot leave, and threatens to harm his new hostages if Kal-El does not comply. Having made a deal with Grace to secure Superman on her behalf in exchange for enhanced powers, Eclipso signals to her, not knowing that Grace has already been captured. When Lois Lane taunts the villain, allowing her to break free, Eclipso loses his grip on the Kents. John Kent promptly knocks Eclipso out with a shovel, ending the threat, but the storm continues around them, clearly part of the larger events unfolding around Earth. Impressed with Lois, Superman kisses her before heading off to save the day. In the depths of Midway City's sewers, Hal Jordan and the Doom Patrol find Star Sapphire and her comrades. The groups battle each other until Hal realizes this is all just a distraction, and he is ambushed by Black Canary. During these events, the now demonic Joker pummels Batman as a horde of demons watch with glee. The demons are suddenly banished by Dr. Fate, who arrives on the scene with the Outsiders. They defeat the army of demons, but the Joker tries to pull Batman into the portal with him. When the Joker also grabs Batwoman, Batman manages to free the woman he loves and tackles his now immortal foe into the portal to parts unknown. In the alternate universe of the crime syndicate, it is confirmed to Flash and Atom that they are indeed on another Earth, having somehow crossed dimensions by accident during their earlier science experiment. Normally a difficult feat, it was clearly rendered more possible by what is happening on Barry and Ray's home Earth. A storm is also present in this universe, which damages the crime syndicate headquarters and allows the two superheroes a chance to escape. Now free, Barry attempts to return home, and again, though normally he would need a special device called the Cosmic Treadmill to accomplish such a feat, he easily slips into another universe. However, it is not their home, and as the two begin traversing the multiverse, Barry has a very hard time navigating it, almost as if all these worlds are collapsing in on one another. Back in their home universe, the Martian Manhunter and the recruits notice other fighters from different time periods appearing around them, including Jonah Hex, a legendary cowboy of the Old West, and more of the Legion of Superheroes. Chaos quickly unfolds around them, and seeing this from a distance, Zatanna casts a spell so that the heroes from the present day can focus on each other. Thanks to this, the JLA spots the arrival of Big Barda, who barely manages to survive a journey to Earth, as the network of otherworldly dimensions normally used by advanced beings to travel through space are also becoming unstable. Barda only survived the trip thanks to the combined powers of the Green Lantern Corps and the New Gods. They inform the JLA what is happening and can be all traced to a singular being they discovered, called the Limbo Cell. This enormous being exists on a size comparable to Earth's entire orbit around the Sun, evolved from somewhere within the multiverse where it was able to absorb all life in its own dimensional plane. It has since moved on to consuming other realities, including now their home world, and as it does so, the effects are being felt not only across the multiverse, but in various little subdimensions, explaining the instability around these barriers between realities and the diminishing energies of powerful beings like the Green Lanterns and New Gods who tap into the life energy of the universe itself. Even Superman has been feeling the Limbo Cell's effects as it has been quietly devouring the Kryptonians' vast powers. Before they fell, it was speculated by Darkseid's forces that the Limbo Cell has no sentient mind of its own, but rather one born of an instinct and desire to feed. Because of this, it was difficult for anybody to sense the presence of this being until now, where it's almost too late, as the Limbo Cell has no conscious thoughts of its own that could be detected by psychic beings, nor does it possess any sort of technology that could be also similarly detected by advanced beings. Darkseid alone could sense this being's vague sense of contentment as it fed on one reality after another, thus his interest in this particular Earth, as he knew it was the home of the Limbo Cell's next targeted universe. Darkseid's weapon was designed to destroy the Limbo Cell, and Barda has brought another similar version to finish what the Dark Gods started. They try to use it, but in doing so, the Limbo Cell almost completely devours Mr. Miracle's mind the second he makes contact with it. This makes them realize that the Limbo Cell can only be destroyed from within, but it will consume anything it touches immediately before any being could activate the device. Superman arrives on the scene and offers to try and do it himself, believing that he will have a limited window to use the device before he's fully consumed by the Limbo Cell, thanks to his incredible Kryptonian powers. Meanwhile, Hal manages to subdue both Canary and Star Sapphire, and pulls them all out of the sewers. He realizes they were fighting beneath Oliver Queen's home the entire time, when suddenly Amazo appears and aggressively flies out of their home. Dinah reveals she was behind Carol's actions around Earth, having captured Niles Calder so that the Doctor would transplant Oliver's brain into Amazo's body. With Queen's body failing him, this was the only way for Canary to save her husband's life. Niles insists that though Dinah's actions were extreme, they were able to save Oliver, though some sort of automatic programming kicked in the second Queen's brain was hooked up with the android. When Hal goes to stop Amazo, the Phantom Stranger appears, insisting that Jordan shouldn't and simply leave the android be. Superman dives into the Limbo Cell, but is drained far too quickly to activate the device in time. Amazo flies into the Limbo Cell and pulls Superman free. With Oliver's mind now active, he is able to pull energy from the Limbo Cell itself, thanks to the incredible ability of the Amazo android to copy any superpower it encounters, including the Limbo Cell's own power-draining abilities. He uses this to restore Superman. Working largely off the android's instincts and vast knowledge, Oliver deduces what is going on, and pretty quickly it is clear that the Phantom Stranger set all these events in motion so that Queen could sacrifice himself and destroy the Limbo Cell. This infuriates Black Canary, but Oliver accepts this on a number of levels, viewing it as a means to die heroically and make amends for his campaign against metahumans. As he prepares to use the Doomsday device on the Limbo Cell, the Joker and Batman tumble through the portal, destined to send them to a miserable fate of suffering forever in hell. Just as Oliver destroys the Limbo Cell with the Doomsday device, Batman and Joker are enveloped in a white light. The Joker screams as something pulls him back to hell, while two familiar figures reach out a hand to Batman. For the first time in a very long time, Bruce Wayne smiles and emerges back on Earth. With the Limbo Cell gone, reality snaps back to normal. The Phantom Stranger informs the others that the energy stolen from their universe is returning, empowering the Green Lanterns and New Gods once more while restoring the barriers between time and space. The Flash, Atom, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman are all finally able to return home. They attempt to confront the Phantom Stranger on his role in all of this, but the mysterious being argues his involvement was very minimal, and all he really did was try and offer some comfort to Oliver Queen before he inevitably died. Superman, learning his powers are far from limitless, admits he will need to rely on the rest of the team far more in the future. Batman approaches the JLA and, finally coming to terms with what happened to Robin and Batgirl, asks to rejoin the team. He's warmly accepted, and Hal leads the team to their next adventure.